After driving from Florida to Newfoundland in search of icebergs and facing endless days of cold, wet rain, I felt a change in the air. I'm a landscape photographer who lives full-time in my Florida Ross, which gives me the ability to sleep in amazing places at a cost of a bit of suffering in the cold, wet weather. That weather was finally changing though. Yet, I found myself struggling in a new way within my work, trying to let go of the familiar, leaning into areas of discomfort, and staying vulnerable with you through it all. This is episode 5. Create an environment where you're free to express what you're afraid to express.
Welcome back, everyone, to an absolutely beautiful day here in Twillingate. This weather has been spectacular the last couple days. Complete 180 from the weather that I was having over the last 3 weeks to a month here in Newfoundland, and I'm hoping it continues. I've been told that basically you hit a point in June, hopefully that the fog rolls away and summer starts, and I'm hoping that we're starting that now. Yesterday evening, I wasn't filming anything, but I was on a hike, a scouting mission to try to take some sunset photos for myself. And a whale came into the bay. I think it was a whale. I haven't actually reviewed the footage yet, so I got my drone up and got like one quick shot of it, and then I lost it. So today, I've just been sitting out here during the afternoon light, hoping to hear one or see one. And earlier this morning, I drove around. There was some nice fog in the bay, and it was creating this nice glow that I love about these areas where the light is perfectly strong enough, but there's just slight diffusion on a lot of the highlights in the images. And so I drove around taking some images of the small fishing town of Twillingate. And I absolutely love those images because they're not what I used to take. I mean, I've always focused on landscapes, but when I came here, I really wanted to start capturing the essence. And when I say came here, I mean the first time I came to Newfoundland. And I made it a point to try to capture more images that encapsulate what this place is like, more than just the landscapes. Also the small town feels, the things that speak to me that say, this is Newfoundland. So I captured a couple of those images that I want to start off this episode showing you, but I didn't film anything for them. So we're just going to start with those images, and hopefully we'll capture a couple nice sunsets or sunrises throughout this episode. The world is our oyster for now. I'm going to sit here, soak up the sun, and enjoy the sights and hopefully find a whale. Enjoy these images. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here.
How do we grow as artists? Actually, a better question to ask is how we grow as humans in general. When you think about it, if you go through adolescence, we learn the basics of life, just like we would learn the basics of something like photography. We continue growing throughout our lives, sometimes very quickly, sometimes slowly. At times, we might even take a step back or two. Regardless, we all tend to reach a point where a path to follow or lessons to learn become far more unclear. We stop going to school. We start a career where we learn how to do a job. And we start focusing on goals like wealth, stability, relationships, or family. We naturally stop growing and many times find ourselves complacent and comfortable. This is where I am within my photography, complacent and comfortable. I read a quote recently that went as follows: "Growth in an art is not marked by the mastery of a craft, but by the struggle to see the world with fresh eyes." Whew, boy does that hit home. Over the past year or more, I've mentioned a few times about branching out and trying to see the world differently for my photography. On this episode, I looked down at my feet and I photographed some rocks. On this one, I tried to make sense of chaotic waves crashing along the shore in Acadia National Park. And in this episode, you're going to watch me try to branch out, but I keep going back to my comfort zones. Speaking of comfort zones, it feels great to have confidence in my ability to find something to photograph almost anywhere. This is not said with arrogance, but rather gratitude that I feel lucky to be confident in the work that I create. The problem is that this parallels with feeling comfortable and complacent. I do what I know, and I don't push myself to explore further, which has ultimately left me feeling disconnected from the photos I've been taking this year. I feel stuck and unsatisfied. I'm sure I'm not alone in this experience. Alright, let's jump to sunset and you'll see me continue to photograph what I'm comfortable with.
Alright, good evening everyone. we are gonna see if the sunset actually happens. You can tell there's a lot of clouds on the horizon behind us. I've taken 2 sunsets in this area, way off in the hills, and then also a sunset right down there, which I believe was the ending of last week's episode. And I think if it actually pops out, it could be absolutely magnificent here. There's quite a few different things we could go with. The composition that I scouted earlier is shooting from right here with these rocks that kind of use as a foreground subject in balance with the rocks that are down there that you can, and the sun is gonna set on the left part of the frame. You just have to wait and see. I'm gonna get my camera out and play around with some compositions, walk around and see if anything else sticks out, using or imagining where the sun is gonna set in my frame rather than just looking at the composition as a whole, because I have to use that to help balance the image because it's gonna take up a lot of focus in the image. I'm not right on the death of this edge. All right, what an absolutely gorgeous sunset. This is the 3rd sunset in a row here that has been spectacular. 2 nights ago, I think was the end of the last episode. Last night, I took a shot of this anchor. I'll put it on the screen now. I don't know if it came out or not. I wasn't totally in love with the composition that I came up with. And then tonight, just another absolutely magnificent sunset. And I think this shot really works. My composition was pretty simple. Actually, I take that back. It wasn't that simple. I spent over an hour trying to find something that worked here. At first, I was trying to look for some foreground stuff of like some flowers or something, but almost everything that's on the edge to where I can see the water and I can see the waves and stuff like that, it's just rock. So what I found here is this rock face on the right-hand part of the frame that you can see. And that's important because I'm just out far enough where I can catch some of the reflected light or the light that's being hit by the sun. So you actually get some of that in the image. And then the whole bottom half of the frame is part of the rock, but I've purposely framed it so that it engulfs the bottom half of the frame and basically frames this kind of iconic spot here in Twilling Gate here at the lighthouse with these rocks out here on the coast that you've seen pictures of or seen footage of if you've been watching the series so far. And then on the left hand of the frame, basically in the left third is the sun, and I got an absolutely spectacular sun star as the sun is setting here. And you can still see I'm still taking a few images, even though I think before the light was just a little bit stronger, a little bit better, and these clouds were more illuminated in those shots. I finally feel like I got a composition that I'm happy with, unlike the last couple nights where it just felt like I was scrambling to find something to shoot, even though I was a bit prepared and then things didn't work out the way that I thought. Okay, enough of me rambling. Here's the shot.
An absolutely beautiful sunset where I walk away with a great image that will slot quite well into my portfolio. I love being in the moment and taking the photograph, just as I did when I was in Patagonia or Bryce Canyon earlier this year. I just don't connect with the final result nearly as much as I would like or I would have not too long ago. You see, there's this internal battle going on within myself to do what I know will work rather than pushing myself and take a risk to possibly walk away with nothing presentable. Tomorrow is a new day though.
All right, good evening everyone. It has been a couple days since you saw me last. Well, 2 days I believe. Yesterday was basically all just storm, overcast, and rain. I did wait around to see if sunset was gonna happen yesterday and nothing happened. This evening, however, I have come to this little cove and I am just walking around, just camera and a lens, trying not to get hit by some of these waves that the tide is coming in. And I'm just walking around looking up for some of the more detailed shots, more intimate shots, more abstract type shots. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I feel like I'm wide-angled, large-shotted out. I've shot too many. I have a feeling, judging by the conditions though and how great it looks, that we might end up getting the wide angle out when the sun finally sets and take a shot like that. But for now, I'm gonna walk around and find some more intimate shots and share those with you. And I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're checking this out. And I'm glad I get to take you along for the ride. It's been an absolutely beautiful day here in Twilling Gate, and I am loving every second of the photography that I get to do. So it means the world to me that you're here checking it out with me. Look at this. Now it's completely different style than what I've been taking. But these shots like this, where it's got like this wet texture around the rock, but then a nice gray tone. If I just move around here, and in editing, I can bring out some of that light that's on that rock there. It could work really well. I think I'm gonna take a shot. Well, not like this. I'm gonna take my camera and take a shot.
I tend to wear myself out, thinking about where I should be now.
So the things that I'm trying to pay attention to are like all of the lines in this particular shot. It's gonna be hard to articulate it while I'm filming myself. But right now I'm shooting this shot that's, let me turn the camera around. That's basically all of these lines that are pointing down through the frame, as you can see. And then I'm focusing on this little brush right here. But the idea here is just a smaller scene, a more abstract scene. And I absolutely love when the light pokes through a little bit more than it is right now, because it's pretty even right now, but with a touch more light. Basically, the tips of all of these rocks that are going diagonally down are being touched by light, and it's creating some nice contrast and separation from one layer of the rock to the next. And I really like the results, well, at least on the back of my camera. It's just really been enjoyable. I've literally just walked around just from that section of cove there to this section of cove here, just looking around for anything I can find. I'm almost testing myself. Well, almost just fell on my ass. But I'm basically just walking around and paying attention to every little detail I can. Mostly because a lot of this style of photography is honestly not what I'm good at. And it's something that I have been continually practicing for over a year and a half now. And definitely am getting better, but it's one of those things where sometimes I have to challenge myself to just come to a spot like this, bring one camera and a lens, and see what I can find. And it's fun, finding all kinds of stuff. I don't know if any of these are post-worthy, but I'm gonna share them with you regardless, because the point of this channel is to take you along for the ride, but also show you that there's a ton of images I take that aren't worth a damn, pretty much, because this is more than just a highlight reel. Well, I did skip yesterday when it was just raining and overcast, but you know what I mean. Okay, here's the shot that I just described. I hope you enjoy.
Everyone here's so loud, they don't know their way around. Just stick to the crowd. I've been wondering a little bit, see to find where I fit in this.
I obviously came down here to look for some more intimate shots, but also because this particular spot right here looks like it could be absolutely beautiful for a large, wide shot, slower shutter speed. There's like a cascading waterfall here and the sun setting. The problem is the sun just went behind a giant layer of clouds as the tide is coming in right now. So I actually don't think we're gonna get much of a sunset with sunset colors or anything unless it pokes through. Whew, that looks intense, but man, it's gonna make for a great photograph. Obviously a big wide photograph like I said that I was gonna try not to take this evening. My composition is gonna be somewhere probably down here with a wide angle shot. And you're gonna notice, see how as the tide recedes and comes in? Well, it's not coming out enough. There's a nice little cascading fall there that could look really good. Obviously the tide has to be right, the light has to be right, and the water level needs to be basically at what it is right now. So maybe I'll try it another evening. I don't think it's gonna happen tonight considering those clouds are looking pretty thick. It still surprises me to this day how little people come here, especially photographers. I feel like this should be a much bigger travel destination, and it just isn't. All right, well, that means I'm the only photographer ever out here, so I guess that's not a bad thing.
Hey, want to explore and take some photos of a spot no one else ever really gets to visit? If you want to become one of those lucky few, come join me next year on a 6-day adventure around Newfoundland where we'll explore some of my favorite spots like this one, capturing stunning seascapes, wildlife, and hopefully icebergs if we're lucky. Lodging is already included and we'll all be staying together in a really unique workshop experience where it's more than just photography. You can find the link to this adventure and all the information you'll need down below the like button.
All right, so even though the light didn't really kick off on the horizon, we've got a few colors here in the sky, but I've set up a composition that kind of just keeps like basically just a sliver of the sky in the image anyways. And then the intention is to kind of blow out. And what I mean by blow out is all of this section is probably going to be pretty bright. And then my foreground is going to be these crashing waves as you saw on the rocks here. What's really interesting is these rocks down here that are kind of my focal point almost have like a golden glint to them. I can't tell if it's the angle that I'm at or if they have sediment in them or something, but they definitely have like a golden bronze tint. Oh, here we go. All right, so I'm going to interrupt myself from talking. I was somewhere shooting a shot over there and thought that was going to be it. But then I came over here and took like a test shot as I was about to, like I literally put my tripod up and everything. And I basically cut out all of the sky since the sun has set. There's not really any clouds or coverage in the sky. And I'm basically just shooting from this top rock down here. And what I really, really like about it that I just happened to capture is that when the waves hit right and it recedes at the right time, there's just this really beautiful glow on the water that mixes with this turquoise water that you can see in some of the images. You can't really see it until you take a longer exposure shot on the camera, because obviously as you're watching in the video and you're watching here, all of this is happening very quickly. But if you elongate a shot, just about 1/5 of a second is what I'm shooting at, it creates this nice path in the water, and just happens to be that the color that's hitting the top of the water is just really pleasing to the eye. Pretty sure one of these is going to be better than what I was taking over there, so I'll show that one to you as well. Just an absolutely beautiful evening here. It was nice to get down to the water. That's something I've been wanting to do. I've been shooting a lot of giant vista shots and really missing being at the water. So it was nice that I found this spot. I'm definitely going to return when we get a better, actual sun or stuff in the sky so I can shoot a bigger shot. But I think this one's going to turn out. Here it is.
Travel Notes, June 13th, 2024. In a reflection of her own artistic development, Georgia O'Keeffe wrote, "I've always been drawn to the landscapes and forms around me, yet I never wanted to paint them in the way they were traditionally depicted. My goal has always been to express what I see in my own way, and that has taken time. Growth as an artist requires a deep commitment to exploring your own vision and refining it over the years. I believe that one must take risks to go beyond what feels comfortable and to seek out new methods and approaches to one's art. I remember looking at the world and thinking, what if I can portray this in a way that speaks to my innermost feelings? It's this inner dialogue that has driven me to create. With each piece, I strive to discover something new about myself and about the world. There is no formula for growth, only a journey of self-discovery through the medium of paint."
We are back at the spot that we were at last time you saw me. I got the waders out. I'm gonna put these guys on and see what we can come up with. Oh yeah, hopefully there's nothing living in here. That would not be fun. I saw a spider in here earlier. I don't know how I'm gonna go in the water, but I at least wanna be prepared to go in the water. And I keep the waders up there for this exact reason, so this feels like the right time. We got the spot scouted. Pretty much know exactly the shot I want to take. We just gotta go make it happen. And today, we're coming back here because the sunlight might illuminate all these clouds. I don't know if it's going to. It's pretty cloudy, but I want to be down there ready, waders and everything, waiting. Okay, I'm sorry for that one, but I'm alone out here and I only really get to talk to you guys. So, also the tide is a wee bit low right now. Needs to be a little bit higher than this for the shot that we want. We'll make something work. We are over here at the spot, and I am mildly concerned that the tide is not going to be anywhere near where we need it to be to make this shot happen. This is where our little waterfall was last time. It's probably about to happen a little bit. But I need the water to come in a lot and fall out to create the atmosphere that I got last time. I'm kind of actually standing where a lot of water was getting splashed. Last time I took the shot from all the way back there. So if the tide doesn't come in anymore, I think we're gonna have to try to find another shot. So if that's the case, I should probably look around for something else. Although maybe I'll just watch the water here for a little bit and see what happens. All right, we've got the shot set up. It is down here, just waiting for just the littlest bit of turbulence here on the waves. If you remember the first night we were here, I got some absolutely beautiful shots, almost just straight out of camera of these waves. And the tide and the waves are way lower right now. However, we could still make it work. I've taken one test shot down here. Well, I've taken quite a few test shots, but I've taken a few that had enough turbulence in it where it's adding just enough atmosphere, enough of those moving waves to help the viewer's eye lead through the image, through this little corridor right here and this little inlet right up to the sun. And you can tell the sun is out right now. And basically my composition, shooting right here with the camera, basically down here with the water, and the swirls start hitting right here when it comes in. And without a polarizer, you can't really see it, but through here with the polarizer on, you can see into that water. And then it leads back here, and there's a nice cascading fall here that mixes in, and it goes all the way back through this out to the sun that's out there. And it just looks, with the light like this, it's just absolutely beautiful. I'll make sure. I'm shooting at f/16 so I get a nice crispy sunburst, sun star. We just gotta hope we get the right waves. But it's prime time in terms of the light right now. So I'm gonna keep taking a shot, keep waiting for some of these waves to come in, hopefully as the sun, oh, there we go. Holding the button down right now as we speak. Doing about 1/4 of a second, which is enough to get the movement in the water. And I just gotta hope that I get enough in a wave when the light is good and it all comes together. It's just perfect right now. Absolutely gorgeous. Couldn't ask for a better evening. So even if I don't get a shot, I mean, this is where I get to work right now. This is the office. Can't really beat it.
I used to sleep just fine when I was but a child.
All right, so that was an absolutely beautiful sunset. Another one here in the books in Twillingate. The conditions were perfect. I couldn't ask for better sky, clouds, and sun in my shot. The problem is the waves just didn't come together. Everything else came together. The composition was good, the sun was good, the light was good, everything was good. I just didn't get the waves. Realistically, I just need more turbulence. Otherwise, the scene in the bottom half of the frame is just, it's too dull. There's nothing to look at. But obviously my idea, what I envisioned in my head before trying to take the shot, was those waves moving just like on that first day, because it was just beautiful. And those waves mixed with the sun in the sky creates a 10 out of 10 world-class landscape image. And it's just a reminder of how much has to come together for those kind of shots. Just how much comes together in a few of the shots that I've ever taken in my entire career, that everything just aligns and it all works. But that means it's more satisfactory when it does happen. And the best thing to remember is that I still enjoyed myself, and that this is not, none of this was a failure. I mean, it was a beautiful evening. I got to talk to you guys. I got to take more shots. I got to stand out in nature, breathe in the salty water. I got to put the waders on for the first time in forever. Beautiful, beautiful evening. And I have no complaints. It's totally okay that it didn't come together. And I'm still excited to look at some of the images I got just to see if maybe something special happened. Also, I wanted to say, if you're enjoying this and you want to help support me and also get something really special for yourself, I'm going to be doing a print folio for my entire Newfoundland adventure here. So it's going to be 5 images on fine art paper. It's going to be a limited print run. Every print folio is going to come with a personalized Polaroid from this trip. It's all going to be hand signed. All the details will be down below. It's going to be about $150, and they're going to be about 8x10 to 8x12. And the whole point is that you can take the print folio and put it on your shelf if you want to, bring it out and look at those images, show them to other people. You can frame whichever ones sing to you, to your heart's content. And it's just something to commemorate all the time and effort and energy that you've spent watching some of these videos, if that's something you're interested in. And honestly, it's just a really great way for me to express my love and gratitude for this place. And I hope that you enjoy it as much as I do. And it's a great way to also just support this journey that I'm on here because, well, gas ain't cheap. Anyways, I hope you check it out down below. Even if you don't, that's okay. Maybe just like the video if you're enjoying it so far. All right, see you tomorrow. Later. Get some sleep. Well, I'm gonna get some sleep. I don't know what time you're watching this.
I can't help but think back to this evening and wonder if I had just let go of trying to get a shot that wasn't going to happen with those low tides and just went to explore a bit more. Maybe try to photograph some of the more intimate subjects that I had found on the previous evenings in that beautiful golden light. Of course, hindsight is always more clear, and at the time I hadn't even realized that this artistic rut I was even in. And I should be clear here, I was still absolutely enjoying the moment, the sun, the water, and simply being out there. None of that is up for question. This disconnected feeling I'm referring to is about the photos that I walked away with and I'm now left with within my catalog. They don't speak to me. I'm unexcited by most of them, and the ones I am excited for don't quite hit the mark to be worthwhile, but they do hold something extremely valuable within them, and that is progress. Photography is hard. Heck, just being a human in general is hard. Finding growth within ourselves requires us to let go of control, be a bit vulnerable, and let ourselves explore. We have to give up some security, or in my case, for some of these photographs, I have to give up a worthwhile shot to take the chance at completely flopping and many times present those flops right here on camera. It's a little surreal writing the script and watching myself struggle with these creative barriers without realizing what was truly happening until now. Attempting to push outside my bubble, but as soon as the light gets good, I revert back to what I know. Anyone listening out there, do you go through this? What's your journey been like?
Good morning, everyone. Well, good afternoon. I just wanted to document this real quick to start off our day. Let's see. Let's go with these. First shorts of the season. Let's go.
All right, and others I could cry if it weren't for my pride. I've been wondering a little bit, can't seem to find where I fit in this.
It is an absolutely beautiful afternoon here. Came out here to hopefully capture some whales. And this particular vista where we shot sunset, I don't know, a few nights ago, 4 nights ago, this sunset, I'll put it on screen, it's just got a giant view. And it's probably one of the best that I can sit at and just try to see or hear any whales passing by this northern part of the peninsula. And mostly just gonna sit here and enjoy the sun. Probably get too much sun, to be completely honest with you. Hopefully we get some whales though. That is how we started this video, and I don't want to end it without one. Either way, I'm at least gonna sit here and enjoy the weather. It's like the perfect temp. It's about 70 degrees, maybe 68, a little hotter in the sun. A little bubbly. Yeah. All right, well, I would love to surprise you with a bunch of footage of some whales, but it didn't happen. And been out here in the sun for long enough that it's probably time to pack it in. I am keeping my chair set up to sit somewhere else, hopefully. So I spent most of today just driving around, keeping my eyes peeled on the horizon, listening for whales, exploring some new locations, trying to find some photos in the midday light, some reflection shots and all that stuff. Came back here to this shot that we took. You know, I genuinely can't remember if it was this episode or last episode, but it was this image. Really cool spot where there is a root cellar over here. There's this nice little upside down boat here with some color on it. and this anchor up here on the hill. And I'm over here trying to figure out what I want to do for sunset. Do I want to go back to the spot from last night, which would be the 4th night in a row, when currently there's not a whole lot of wave action going on out here in the water? But that is a part of landscape photography, and that is part of the adventure here in Twillingate, is trying to decide where to be for sunset using all of the indications, the knowledge, the things that I know about landscape photography to try to make the most of a good sunset. So stay tuned for where we end up. For now, I'm going to keep walking around and take some images right here.
Travel Notes, June 14th, 2024. Ansel Adams wrote, "The most important aspect of photography is not just capturing image, but the ability to see the world through a unique lens. As I developed my craft, I learned that technical mastery is only one piece of the puzzle. The true art lies in how you interpret what you see. My early years were filled with experimentation, as I sought to understand the mechanics of light, shadow, and composition. However, the growth I experienced was not merely about honing my skills, but also about developing my vision. It was crucial for me to find a personal connection to my subjects, to express my emotions through the landscapes that I captured. As I moved through my career, I found that each photograph was a culmination of my experiences, my understanding of nature, and my evolving perspective. To grow as an artist means to embrace the entire journey, the technical, the emotional, and the creative, and allow them to inform one another."
All right, so it's really windy, so hopefully you can hear me. I've got the mic underneath my jacket here, but the shot that I set up, that you watch all the stuff for me to set up, sit down in the chair and all that stuff, is way off in the distance back there, but the shot just was not lining up with where the sun was setting. All of the lines in the rock and stuff was pointing in the opposite direction of where the sun was going to be in the frame, and I really just didn't like it. So I've walked all the way from over there to over here, and I've just found a really nice shot right here that has some algae on the rock that I can use as a foreground, and the light should hit it right as the sun is setting. We still have time. I gotta rush back and get the stuff and move it all over here so that I can take the shot at sunset. We've got about probably 20 minutes, so I have to hurry. All right, well, excuse the hair, because, I mean, nothing's gonna come of that. But we set up the shot just in time before the sun went behind these clouds and got a few shots that I think are gonna work for what I was looking for. Basically, let me show you the comp here. Basically, not that you're gonna be able to see it on the back of my camera, I guess I could just show you in real life. I have this rock on the right-hand side that has all of this really cool algae on it that you can see. And then as the sun was setting, it's illuminating, or was illuminating, all this little cave part here. So it creates a nice focal point for your eye to go to. And then right on the left was the sun that you can see setting with a nice line in the water. And that's pretty much the shot. I kind of scrambled to get it. I walked around for probably 45 minutes looking for something else that I was not in love with the shot that I was gonna take and scouted earlier today. But I think maybe this one worked. I won't really know until I get on the computer. But I hope you enjoy it. Here's the image. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. It's been an absolutely beautiful day. And I just had a disaster where I spilled my drink that was sitting in my jacket, or my bag, all over my drone controller as I was flying it back. I'm sure I got footage of that on the drone. Quite embarrassing. I always tell myself, don't rush. Don't, contrary to me being a rush fan, I always make mistakes in a hurry. And I was in a hurry to go get my stuff and come back. And there's water all over the controller and definitely in the USB-C port. So I'm gonna have to hope to dry that out. I hate making mistakes, and I hate making drastic mistakes like that because I absolutely need the drone. Anyways, here's the image. I hope it works out. It better be worth it, damn it.
The drone controller was totally fine, thank goodness. The photo, however, was just okay. Another image I don't feel connected to, and likely the result of me just falling back into my comfort zones when my plans fell through. Regardless, I let myself be really vulnerable with this episode, and I hope the myriad of lessons I found myself experiencing and sharing with you resonate in some meaningful way. Thanks for being here. There's got to be a rainbow out there somewhere. We just got to go find them. See you later.